Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Matty here from Chill TCG. Now I just woke up this morning, so I apologize if I look a little bit ridiculous in this video. But today we're going to be taking a look at perhaps my new favorite deck to be playing in this new Battle Styles format, and that is going to be Inteleon VMAX. Now this is a cool version of Inteleon VMAX that I don't really think was too popular before Battle Styles. It's actually a very creative list, and we're going to get into it, go over it real quickly, and then we're going to play some games, and I'm super excited to get into it. Again, this list is super fun. There's a lot of different things you can do. First of all, we're going to talk about Inteleon VMAX. This is the main attacker, the main card in which this deck is based around. Inteleon VMAX, 320 HP on this water-type VMAX here. Retreat cost of 2, weak to electric. However, Inteleon VMAX has two really useful abilities. The first one being, or attacks. First one being Hydro Snipe, 60 damage for 1 water. You may put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon into their hand. This is actually extremely useful in a variety of different matchups. Mainly, it's good on ADP. Turn 2, we can get into Inteleon VMAX. We can attack that ADP for 60, keep them from kind of getting that third or second energy on their ADP, stop them from GXing or at least Ultimate Raying, delay us some time to where we can start hitting for the max bullet there, which is our second attack. For 2 water and a colorless does 160, and this attack also does 60 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So this is actually really good. 160 and 60 to the bench is an extremely powerful attack, especially for only 3 water energies, which we do have various ways of attaching those energies to our Inteleon. It's just really useful. The math always seems to work out. The 160 at 2 shots most VMAX Pokemon in the format right now, and then whenever you're able to spread damage to the bench, it's actually really good as well. If you do 60 to something like a Zacian, it puts them, with only 160 HP left. So that's a perfect combo there. We can snipe the Zacian on the bench for 160, boss it up, and then max bullet it, right, for another 160, which gets the KO, and then we spread more damage to the bench. It just works out a lot. A lot of Stage 1 single prize Pokemon also have around 60 HP, so really good when it comes to that. This is just a fantastic attacker. I really like Inteleon VMAX, and we have plenty of other things in the deck, right, to make this deck a little bit more viable and a little bit more consistent. Of course, we are running a 3-2 Snom and Frosmoth lineup. Frosmoth is just good in the deck. It's good to get this thing out early. It's easy to set up your second Inteleon and perhaps get the first one set up on your second turn. So that's always really, good when you think about it. Frosmoth, it's just a really great option right now, especially with Level Ball being printed in Battle Styles, makes it much more consistent to get that Frosmoth out. And that's really going to help us in the long run. Now, the next sort of piece of this deck when it comes to Pokemon that we're running, which is actually super interesting, is this 2-2-2 lineup of Sobble, Drizzile, and Inteleon. Now, these are the shady dealings, Inteleon and Drizziles. First of all, Drizzile here, it's got the abilities. In Inteleon and Drizzile have similar abilities. They're actually phenomenal abilities here. So, Drizzile reads that when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, so when you evolve your Sobble, you get to search your deck for a trainer card, any trainer card, and then reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. This is phenomenally good. Also, Sobble and Drizzile are also searchable with Level Ball, which makes it much more consistent. We have plenty of Pokemon search in this deck, so I wouldn't worry at all either. And then Inteleon has the same exact ability, except when you evolve. And Inteleon's the stage 2, so when you evolve it twice, and you play Inteleon from your hand to evolve it, you look for 2 trainer cards, so even better. Also, Inteleon actually has a really good attack here, 160 HP, Aqua Bullet, you do 120, and then you do 20 to the bench, so it's really just like a smaller version of Inteleon VMAX, but it's actually a really good attacker for only 2 energy. But the ability to just, over time throughout the game evolve your Pokemon and search your deck for trainer cards really makes this deck that much more consistent, and I absolutely love the synergy you have between both types of Inteleon in the deck. We are running 1 Crobat, 1 Dedenne for draw support, and we have a Mew, of course, because a lot of Pokemon in the format right now like to do bench damage and snipe the bench. We are going to be playing a lot against a lot of people with Mews, so you got to keep that in mind. Mew is definitely a card that stops Inteleon for the most part, but if we get that early game boss, which is a lot easier to do with Drizzile, then we're going to be able to boss up that Mew and KO it early in the game. So it should be pretty fun for sure. Now onto the trainer cards. We do have 2 Capacious Buckets. We're not running a super high count, mainly because this isn't Lapras. We don't need to stack too many energies on Inteleon, but it is good to run some Capacious Buckets, again, searchable with Drizzile, to guarantee, right, the ability for us to get those energies onto Inteleon, because Frosmoth takes the energy from the hand and puts it onto the bench Pokemon. Now onto the switching options. We're running 1 Escape Rope, 2 Switch cards, And then on top of these two switching options, we have 3 air balloons. Everything in our deck gets free retreat with air balloons, so it's going to be definitely a really good option. We like to put pivots on our Frosmoth so that we can, switch into it in the active, use its ability, and then free retreat back out, and then of course go into our Inteleon to attack. So that's all the switching options in the deck. I am running 2 Evolution Incense, 3 Level Balls, 2 Pokemon Communications, and 4 Quick Balls. So plenty of Pokemon search. We have a lot of different Pokemon in the deck. And again, finding our Pokemon like our Drizzile and our Inteleon and our Frosmoth is going to be super, super important to us because that's going to be, 1, the way that we accelerate energy, and 2, the way that we accelerate and draw trainer cards throughout our deck. So definitely very important. For the supporter lineup, nothing too crazy. 3 Boss, 3 Marnie, 4 Research. Again, just really standard stuff. Want to make this deck as consistent as possible. Now on to energies, we're running 10. We just have 1 capture energy in here, and we have, of course, 9 water energies. You could run potentially another capture energy and maybe 1 less basic water, but I do like the 9 water count because this means that we can discard 1 or 2 throughout the game and be fine. We can fill up 2 Inteleon VMAXs, that's 6 energies, and we can also set up one of our little baby Inteleons as well, which only takes 2 energy. And the capture energy, again, just really good for getting those Snoms and those Drizziles down on our bench, as well as another Inteleon V if we need it, right? So this deck list really has everything. It synergizes extremely well. It's very fun to play. I don't think it's too difficult either. You just really have to, set up early and just start riding through the rest of the game, and the consistency of this deck is what actually surprises me. And it's actually extremely, extremely fun. I love any deck that spreads damage and does damage to the bench. Inteleon is no different. Alright guys, so that's the deck list. We're going to get into the video. We're going to play some games. We're going to show you guys some gameplay. I'm really excited. I love this deck. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Alright guys, let's get into it. Some awesome Inteleon gameplay. One of my favorite decks to be playing in Battle Styles. Again, it's based around cards that are pretty old. They're like Rebel Clash, Base Set. Those are pretty old sets at this point. For both the Inteleons in our deck, but and Frosmoth, but a lot of the cards in the deck are newer, and I think the newer cards really elevate this deck. And also, it's just, in my opinion, just a really good option to be playing right now in in this format. Okay, so we're starting with an Inteleon V and a Snom, and we have 3 energies out right now. What I think I'm going to do, unfortunately, is, it really depends on what we top deck. I don't know what we're playing against. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to keep this Snom in the active. Just in case we draw into something, progressive in the next couple hands or whatnot. We are going first. We try to do another Inteleon VMAX, which isn't super ideal. We're just going to attach to the V and pass. I think that our Snom should be safe. I don't know exactly what we're playing here. Some decks do like to attack on their second turn, or their first turn going second. But for the most part, typically decks don't do that, so it's a little bit safe to keep Snom in the active. Also, okay, so we're playing Spiritomb. So that's not good for us because they do like to attack on their first turn going second. They most likely will be doing that. So our Snom is probably going to be getting KO'd here. Not ideal. But this matchup's actually pretty interesting. Again, if they play Mew, which I'm sure they do, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult for us. But, there are a lot of precautions. There are a lot of things that we can do here to make this matchup a little bit better. He does find the Spike Myth this turn. He's going to go ahead and Building Spite. I assume he has another way to switch out into that Jirachi, so he's definitely going to be getting things going here. He does have that hiding energy, so he's going to get the free retreat. And now he's got the 30 damage counters already on the Spiritomb. Now, I'm curious, personally, if he's going to be able to, of course, find the Toughness Gate, which I'm sure he probably will. The chances of him getting it off of this Stellar Wish is actually pretty high since he has 4 in his deck. He finds the Level Ball, so he's going to be able to find probably another Spiritomb, or probably the Mew, to be honest with you. He's probably going to grab the Mew if he has it, at least. It would definitely be smart for him to get it pretty early on. Okay, so he grabs another Spiritomb. I'm curious if he even has the Mew in the deck. I assume he does, so maybe he just, we'll have to wait and see, but he's going to grab the second Spiritomb. He's going to Building Spite on that guy for sure. If he leaves my Snom alive, that's actually pretty ideal for us. Now, I'm not very confident that he will do that. That definitely wouldn't be the best play for him to do, but we'll see. We'll see. Next turn, it looks like we're going to have to probably discard. Okay, so he's going to pop the Escape Rope, which is pretty bad for us because, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to do enough damage to KO Inteleon. No, he's not. He's going to do 100, though, which is pretty bad for us. But we are going to be able to KO the Spiritomb no matter what. That Air Balloon is actually pretty nice, for sure. I'm going to attach it to the Inteleon. We're going to go ahead, above the Inteleon, attach the Water Energy, and we are going to research away this VMAX and the Water. We haven't found a way to search through our deck yet, which is a little bit unfortunate. Okay, so our hand is full of really good stuff. It's full of really good stuff right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bench this Inteleon as well. And I am going to bench this Sobble. Those are going to be important for us later in the game. I could have grabbed, you know, maybe that wasn't the best decision because I could have grabbed technically the Frosmoth this turn and just retreated into it and then used the ability. But personally, I don't think that that was entirely necessary. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to attach this air balloon to this Snom here. I'm going to quick ball away the Pokemon Communications. The sequencing probably is a little bit off, but I wanted to get that Sobble down because, again, it's going to be really useful for us to find boss at some point, right? We're going to Crobat. We do find the Frosmoth here, but unfortunately, we do not find a way to switch into it. We could Dedenne with his hand. I don't necessarily want to do that, though. But what we can do, I think, is just kind of feed the Snom or the Frosmoth to him, and we can just sort of get 3 energies onto our board this turn. And that might actually be the best decision. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the Capacious Bucket. We're going to look through the deck. So we have our Dedenne. We have 1 Inteleon. And we have 1 VMAX left still. So we're still doing pretty fine. We have 2 bosses orders, yep. So, you know, I'm not going to spend the time to figure out my exact prize cards because I am pretty impatient. But, you know, I think that we're actually fine. Now, the question here is, do I want to KO? He's already down 1 boss. So do I actually want to KO this thing and stay in the active? Which I actually can do with Max Snipe. Or do I want to just go ahead, retreat, feed him the Frosmoth, and then set up the rest of my Pokemon? That might be the best play, realistically, because next turn I can search for Drizzile and take multiple prize cards next turn. So that's actually what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's the best play, realistically, but we're going to retreat out. We are going to take 20 damage. We're kind of fine with that. We're going to put 1 energy onto this Inteleon, and we're going to put 2 energies onto our Inteleon V here. Now, he could have another boss. He only has a 3-card hand. I'm pretty confident, realistically, that he doesn't have it like that. Now we could dig more. Like, we could play down Dedenne, and we could dig through our deck and potentially get a Max Snipe off. We have 3 switching options in our deck. I don't know if that's actually the best decision here, realistically, because we kind of have it guaranteed next turn. But I don't know what we actually lose from doing that. So I actually kind of just want to. I'm actually just going to do it because I think the good outweighs the bad in this scenario. So if we do find a way to switch, if we find one of our 2 switches or our escape ropes, that could be very big. We don't, unfortunately, but we do find another energy, so we can just go ahead and put it on this Inteleon V. We do have a Drizzile in our hand next turn. So as long as he doesn't have boss, right, and accumulate enough damage to KO our Inteleon VMAX, that would be pretty unfortunate for us. Then we should be in a pretty decent position regardless here. We do find the Cape of Toughness. Now, the sweet spot for Spiritomb is, you know, technically we'd like him to have like at least 50 damage on that thing, because then the 60 damage spread to the bench will also KO it. It's not worth spreading damage to the Spiritomb unless they have 5 damage counters on, because at that point, we're just giving them more damage output potential, so we kind of have to be a little bit precautious from that. He's going to switch, even though he has free retreat there. I find a little bit interesting, and then he's going to free retreat into Jirachi, so I don't know if that was actually the correct sequence. And then he's going to go ahead and Building Spite. Now, you notice that 1 Spiritomb has 50 damage onto it on the bench, and now it has 60, so that is going to be a bit easier for us to KO. And we can technically get 3 prize cards next turn, but I think it's going to be better for us to just KO those Spiritombs in the long run, because we can always boss later in the game. We kind of want to get rid of his Spiritombs and his attacking options early on. We'll see what he finds here with the Stellar Wish. If he finds something good, if he finds maybe like a Quick Ball or a Research or a Marnie or something like that, that could be a little bit annoying for us. But he finds the Scoop Up Net, so it looks like he's probably just going to go in back to his Spiritombs and get a KO on our Frosmoth, which we're not actually that upset about, realistically. And he hasn't found the second Cape of Toughness to put on the other Spiritomb, so it actually doesn't really matter, per se, which one we attack for the 160, right? So we are going to see the Bird Keeper, so no boss, which is, again, good for us. And even if he plays the Escape Rope, I'm not too worried. He's got a Level Ball here, so I assume this is where he's probably going to find the Mew. The Jinx. Okay, so he might not have Mew in his deck, which is definitely going to make things a lot easier for us. Maybe it's prized. Maybe he's not running it. I do think you should be running Mew if you're playing Spiritomb, though, personally. I think that that's probably your best decision. He's going to put 7 damage counters onto this this benched Spiritomb, which is interesting. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to take KO on both of these Spiritombs this turn. I think that's definitely just going to be our best option. I'm going to go into this one because he does have the air balloon either way, but we are going to try to go ahead and find the other VMAX and just go into it because it has more HP. I think we have Inteleon in hand, so I feel pretty comfortable just evolving into this Drizzile, and we're gonna be able to search our deck for an Evo Incense, which I think is probably the better play here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. So we're gonna grab the VMAX here, and we're gonna just evolve the full HP Inteleon V. I feel a little bit more comfortable keeping this guy in the active than another one personally. Now we have this one extra bench space, which we honestly don't necessarily need for anything. I'm gonna go ahead and level ball. So we do have a Drizzile and a Sobble left in my deck, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and put the Sobble down. And I don't know how many water energies we have left in our deck. I think that we should have at least one more. Yep, so I'm going to go ahead and just attach the capture to Drizzile in case we want to attack with Inteleon at some point. So now what I'm going to do is retreat into this Inteleon. We are going to take some damage, not that big of a deal, and we're going to KO both of these Spiritombs. Now, one thing that I could do is KO the Jirachi and leave this Spiritomb in the active, but I'm actually not too concerned about that. Now, what I might do is Marnie here, but I actually have no reason to Marnie because we have Inteleon to find boss next turn. So I feel pretty comfortable just going ahead and using Max Bullet and KOing both of these Spiritombs here. Getting rid of his attackers. Again, Spiritomb is a Pokemon that he's going to be able to set up in one turn. But hopefully he won't be able to set it up in one turn and find boss and get a KO on our VMAX. Even if he does, I'm actually pretty confident that we'll be fine here. The fact that he doesn't have Mew means that we almost always win the prize race, mainly just because I'm going to be consistently able to take multiple prize cards in one turn, and the only way for him to do that is to KO an Inteleon VMAX, and Spiritomb's damage cap is actually 310 damage, so we're actually pretty safe here, and the only way he's going to take really a lead in this game at this point is going to be to boss up our Inteleon VMAX with damage, and to get enough damage counters on the Spiritomb. The matchup is a little bit interesting, though, because that Spike Myth is just safe to be there throughout the entire game. Again, we're not running any stadiums or stadium removal, so it's always going to be there. But I do think that we're in a pretty good situation. Next turn, we can even play down the Inteleon, grab boss, and KO the Dedenne and the Jirachi, which could be very good. And pretty much seal the deal for this matchup here. He's going to go ahead and do a nice little Jirachi loop, and he's going to Stellar Wish yet again here. Finds the Quick Ball, so he's definitely going to be looking for that Spiritomb. However, I do think that we're in a pretty good position nonetheless. We even have that Inteleon, the baby Inteleon, to attack with, which could be very, very good as well. 120 damage is nothing to slouch about, realistically. So I'm pretty excited. Let's see here. So he's going to Crobat. Actually, he grabs the Crobat with the Quick Ball. Draws 4 here. I don't know exactly what he's going to be finding here. He has a lot of things in his discard pile already. But not too much stuff. I do appreciate the boss that's in his discard pile. You actually see a research now. And 2 boss are now in his discard pile. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. A lot of switching options as well in his discard pile. So I don't think that he has... I mean, he probably could do it. He probably could pull it out right now. Now he's grabbing the Mew, which I find to be pretty interesting. But again, we can boss it up and KO it this turn. And I'm pretty sure that we're pretty safe, and we're going to be living no matter what. So I'm not too worried. I'm just not worried at all. We are going to see him switch. I don't know what he's switching into. Maybe just the Spiritomb? And I guess he's going to get some damage off with this thing. Okay, so he's going to free retreat into the Jinx. He might have another switching card in his hand. He's actually going to use the Ominous Posture, move a damage counter from the Jirachi to the Spiritomb. Now he's at 40. So yeah, now he's going to pass his turn. So we're pretty much comfortable evolving this Inteleon. We're going to grab the boss here. Yeah, we're going to grab 2 trainer cards, actually. Do we have the water in our deck? We do. So actually, I'm just going to grab 1 boss. Although, does he run Marnie in his deck? I don't know if he runs Marnie in his deck, to be honest with you. So it might be better for us to just grab both boss. It'd be 100% fair. So I'm going to do that. But if he does Marnie us, that's going to be pretty unfortunate. We haven't seen Marnie yet. I don't know if he's running Marnie, so I'm going to go ahead and KO this Mew here. You might be like, why did you leave the Spiritomb alive? Well, just because after we KO this Mew, we're going to be able to win next turn with another boss's orders. He can grab the Mew, but he's already down 1 Ordinary Rod, and I don't know if he plays multiple. He might play another one. But we're just going to go ahead and max bullet here. We're not doing any bench damage. We are KOing that Mew, and then next turn setting up for the 3 prize KO here, and we find our own Mew. Again, he can Ordinary Rod this turn, also, Quick Ball or Level Ball and find his own Mew, which could be pretty good for him. But yeah, he's going to go ahead, building Spite. He puts the 50 onto the Spiritomb. Now he's at 70, so again, in range of getting KO'd from that 60 in which we sniped the bench with. We can boss up to Dedenne and then just KO that thing there on the bench, which I'm pretty happy with, and that'll be our last 3 prize cards. I think the math typically works out with Inteleon. This guy, I think it would have been smarter for him to get Mew out a little bit earlier on in the game. And even if the Spiritomb hits for max damage, he's not actually KOing our Inteleon, so I'm not too worried. To be 100% honest with you, he's going to go ahead and level ball, except he hasn't ordinary rod yet, so that Mew is still there on the top of his discard pile. So I'm feeling pretty good here. We're going to see a Marshadow, which is interesting. Now, what he could do is he could escape rope and force us to switch, which would get would get those 2 damage counters on our Inteleon, which would put him in a position to one-hit KO. But again, I don't know if that's going to be his play here, and I'm actually not too worried at all. The fact is that he doesn't run Marnie makes it a little bit easier for us to set up because, of course, Inteleon does like to slowly get the cards that we need on our hand, and the fact that he isn't running Marnie means that we just have win condition here. So we're going to go ahead. Boss up that Dedenne. We're doing 160 pretty perfectly, and then we're just going to go ahead and KO that benched Spiritomb. Going to take our last 3 prize cards, and that is going to be enough to win the matchup. No, I wouldn't say my opponent played perfectly. I think getting that Mew down on his board would have probably been extremely important for him. But you know what? Pretty good game nonetheless. Kind of showcases a little bit of what Inteleon can do. So I think that that's definitely a pretty good example of how Inteleon rolls. I think that we can afford to get into one more game and, just sort of see exactly the type of gameplay we can get with Inteleon. That was a pretty good example. Honestly, on the ladder these days, I play a lot of Spiritomb, and I understand because that deck is very fun to play. One of my favorite decks to play right now in this format as well. All right, we're playing Kenshin XZ. Kenshin. We do want to go first. We lost the coin flip yet again. We'll see if our opponent chooses to go first or second. We do like to go first with Inteleon. We like to get the Inteleon, Sobble, and Frosmoth down on our board. Our opponent is choosing to go first. Not super ideal for us. However, we do have a pretty nice hand, realistically. Even though, technically, we would have liked to go, of course. We would have liked to go first. But that's fine. Not that big of a deal here. I don't know what we're playing against. Looks like ADP. So now the important thing for us is going to be to get that 60 damage attack off with Inteleon VMAX on our next turn. We're not going to be able to do it this turn, of course, but on our next turn, that could be very important. Looks like we're not going to probably be able to stop him from GX attacking, but we might be able to stop him from ultimate rank for a turn or two, which is going to be all the difference, realistically. He gets both Zacians down in a Mawile, so to me, that's the 6 prizes right there that we need. We can also KO this ADP if we need to, and he's going to go ahead and Crobat immediately, so really fast-paced playing through his deck. We do see the spinner here, so that's good for him. He's going to be able to grab that water really early on, which is definitely good for him, for sure. Now, I don't know if we prefer to go first or second in this matchup. I think we still prefer to go first, and he's actually going to Dedenne away now. Okay, so every energy switch that he discards here, we're a little bit more likely of delaying him. Because, again, if we keep discarding that card or putting that card from ADP back into his hand, we're going to be delaying, right? But if he has E-Switch, he's going to be able to do an E-Switch combo to get that rocking, right? Okay, cool. So now what I might do, I might burn this boss realistically. Okay, but first off, we're going to just pop Level Ball. We're going to grab the Sobble. It's going to be important to have that there. Now, I think we can Quick Ball away the... What do I want to Quick Ball away, realistically? I don't really want to Quick Ball away Capacious Bucket, but we might have to. I'm just kind of weighing my options out here. I think maybe just the... I think maybe Boss? We're going to discard the Water Energy first. That's what we are going to do. We're going to check here. We have all of our Pokemon that we need, I think. Actually, yeah, okay. So Frosmoth's down there, Inteleon, Drizzile. We have both Dedenne and Crobat. I'm going to grab the Inteleon. I find that to be probably the most important thing for us to grab. We're going to go ahead and capture energy. Now, what I kind of want, though, is... Do I grab another Inteleon V or another Snom to put down on our bench is the question. I'm actually just going to grab this Inteleon V. Because he's not going to attack us, right? He's going to prioritize GXing first. So I'm going to get our second Inteleon down on the board just because, ultimately, we're going to want that eventually. And now I'm actually going to Quick Ball away Boss. Because what I'm going to do is grab the Crobat, because I kind of want to keep the Capacious Bucket in my hand. We're going to draw 5 off the Crobat here. And we do find the Frosmoth. and plenty of other cards in our hand, which is pretty interesting. Okay. I'm just thinking, so next turn, it looks like we're probably going to have to do some things and then go ahead and Dedenne out, which is probably fine, I think. And now I think we just pass this turn. We're going to pass this turn. Next turn, we can evolve into Frosmoth, put some energies onto our Inteleons. We can, of course, Quick Ball for Dedenne. We can maybe find the Drizzile, maybe find a Marnie, things like that. He's definitely going to GX attack this turn, for sure. Now, the worst thing that he could do is to get 2 metal energies on this ADP, right? And then GX, because then that would stop us from being able to delay him another turn of, without ultimate raying, right? So that wouldn't be good for us, for sure. And I'm pretty sure the only way we win this matchup is by doing that. Unfortunately, we did bench that Crobat. It was pretty necessary, I think, but for the most part, you don't want to bench Crobat or Dedennes against ADP, because it kind of gives them the situation that they need to win the game here. We are going to see another spinner. He's down 1 Saucer, 1 E-Switch, no metal energies. He's just going to attach this metal here. Now, if he doesn't do anything else, any ultimate rays, that's actually pretty good for us. All things considered. All things considered, that's going to be pretty good for us. Now, will he remember? Will he remember the snipe shot attack? He's going to discard his other ADP, which is good here. He's going to grab a 3rd Zacian. His bench is filled up. That Dedenne I do like, because that's going to be a 1-hit KO for us, and we could potentially finish off another KO with that. And he's actually going to Marnie us, which is very, very unfortunate. We have both of our Frosmoths in hand. But we could draw into a Drizzile and then draw into a way to find our Frosmoth. So I'm not too worried about that. However, it's definitely not super ideal. We do draw the Evo Incense, actually, which is not bad at all, I think. And he's going to go ahead and Ultimate Ray. And we actually, not Ultimate Ray, GX attack. We actually find the Air Balloon, which is pretty nice, all things considered. Now, I think it's important. Actually, it might be even more important right now for us to find the VMAX in case we miss the VMAX, right? Because we really just want that 1 energy attack. I'm going to attach to this guy here. I'm going to Evo Incense for the Inteleon VMAX because we definitely have to attack with this turn. We have no real other option. And now we're going to research. He dropped himself down to a 4-card hand, which is pretty good realistically for us. And we do find the Drizzile and Level Ball, which is actually really good. So what I'm going to do is we're going to Level Ball. We can find our Frosmoth, which is good. And we have 2 water energies in hand as well, which is all good things for sure. All good things. Now we're going to Ice Dance. We're going to attach 1 to this Inteleon. We're going to attach another one to this Inteleon. Now, the chances is he hasn't discarded Boss, right? So I'm not comfortable just attacking for 160. I do think our better play is going to be to go ahead and hit with the Hydro Snipe. And I might hold off on the Drizzile, although I don't know if it's entirely necessary to hold off. So what I think I'm actually going to do is, first of all, we're just going to retreat into this Inteleon. I'm going to play the Drizzile. I might grab Boss's orders for my hand in case he decides to start setting up his Zacian. So I kind of want to grab Boss, although, because we have Marnie in hand, so we always have that option. I think grabbing Boss is probably going to be our most safe play, realistically. And then we're going to go ahead and Hydro Snipe. And I think we always want to put the water back into his hand just because the metal, he can repurpose a little bit more than that water. And now he needs, of course, a way to get both energies onto this ADP this turn in order for him to get the ultimate ray off, as well as Boss's orders. So we're forcing him to have as many cards as possible in order to get the attack off with his ADP this turn. Now, preferably, he just sets up a Zacian on the bench. Like, that's actually our best case scenario because we do have Boss's orders. We can start to do that. Okay, so he is going to attach the water here. Now, does he have a way? Is there any metal in the discard pile? There's not. So he's going to need to discard a metal, metal saucer, and E-switch, right? And have a Boss's orders in order to take 3 prize cards this turn. I'm not saying he can't do it. He could probably do it. That would be super unfortunate for us, but we kind of did the most that we could to stop him, I suppose, right? That's a really big combo to force him to have. So I'm pretty confident in him not being able to do that. And now, what we can do is next turn we hit him with another Hydro Snipe, right? And then if it sticks, if the stalling sticks another turn, then we can actually go ahead and max bullet him for 160 for the KO. And now we see the Intrepid Sword come out. Okay, so he gets just 2 off that Zacian, which is pretty huge. That's actually very unfortunate for us. So now I think the best play here is going to be the Marnie, and we're going to drop his hand size. Now he just needs E-switch and an energy in hand, which is never super ideal. We do find our other Inteleon, which is good, but we don't actually have anything progressive at hand. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to just Hydro Snipe yet again. Not the best scenario, realistically, at all. You know what? It is what it is. We're going to put the water back into his hand. So now, again, he needs E-Switch, and he needs Boss, and he needs the another metal in his hand. Or no, he just... You know, right, he has the energy in hand. Okay. So he's going to Skyla, so he doesn't have Boss, which is actually really good for us. And he's going to E-Switch. So it looks like he's just going to go ahead and attack into our Inteleon with Ultimate Ray this turn. Which is super ideal, to be fair. Because now, this isn't bad for us, right? This isn't bad, all things considered, because what we can do... well, we're going to have to draw into some stuff. Our hand is pretty dead right now. So all things considered, probably not the best thing in the world, realistically. He's going to put 3 energies onto that. Okay, all right, interesting. He puts the water on, which I find to be very interesting. Okay, so we actually drew into the Inteleon, which is huge. We're going to be able to KO this ADP here, and I think spreading damage to one of these Zacians is going to be extremely important. What I want to do, though, with Inteleon is probably just grab like a Research as well as an Air Balloon, because we do want to retreat out and KO with this Inteleon. Right? So we're going to evolve. We're going to search our deck for 2 trainer cards. So I think what we want is a Research. And actually... I think Switch is probably the better option, because we can switch into that Frosmoth and then just retreat into whichever one that we actually choose to go with, right? So I think Switch is probably our best option. So we are going to switch into this Frosmoth. We're going to go ahead and pitch away this hand here with Research. See if we draw into an energy. We do, actually, which is pretty nice. We're going to go ahead and grab that. And now I don't know if I wanted Dedenne here. Because I don't think it's worth it. So I'm actually going to put down the Sobble, although I don't even know if we have Drizzile left in our deck. We might have... No, I don't think we do. I think we prized one. Or we just discarded one, which is pretty not good of a play for us on my bad. That's my bad for sure. I don't know why we did that. I think I forgot. I think I used to have 3 Drizzile left in our deck, but no longer do we have 3. So he's got a 4-card hand. He could have Boss, right? He might be able to get the KO on this Inteleon this turn. I'm not like super upset about that. We're going to go ahead and KO the ADP, take 3 prizes. We're going to do some damage to the Zacian. So putting ourselves in not a terrible position. Again, if he can attach Boss KO, and then that kind of puts us in an awkward spot. But he needs 2 more energies onto this Zacian, so we got to keep that in mind. Because, again, it takes 3 metal, not 1 water. So he is going to Saucer onto this Zacian. So if he has Boss in hand, he is going to get KO on our Inteleon. He doesn't, though, actually. He has the Research, which is very good for us. For sure, Marnie's keeping him at bay. That Snipe Shot keeping him at bay. Again, this doesn't always work out this well, but it is a pretty viable option when you're dealing with ADP here. And it's a very good stalling tactic. And I've found, to be honestly, this is the best way that you can kind of slow down a Zacian, an ADP Zacian, and kind of stop them from getting everything that they need. We do have Boss in hand, and he already played a supporter. Excuse me. So we are going to be able to boss up that Zacian on the bench if he doesn't already go into attack with it. And I think that puts us in a very good position. He might just retreat into it and attack anyway, which is actually going to be good for us, because if he doesn't KO that benched Inteleon here, I think we pretty much win the game just off of kind of putting him in a position. He runs Mew in his ADP list. Oh, no. Excuse me? That's not good. It actually doesn't matter, though, to be honest with you. The bench damage doesn't actually matter from this point on. Interesting that he runs Mew, though, in his list. That's definitely interesting. I don't know if many ADPs are running Mew. But since we already hit that bench Zacian for 60 damage, it actually doesn't matter. We're never going to be needing to do more bench damage. So I'm not actually too worried about that happening. Because, again, we do have Boss in our hand. He's actually just going to Intrepid Sword. So I'm pretty much fine with that. Let me check the discard pile. So we have 1 in the discard. We should have another one in our deck here. So I feel pretty safe just bossing up the Zacian. And we're going to go ahead and KO it. Now what I might do is just attach this Air Balloon here preemptively. And now we can get a nice little KO on the Zacian. The bench damage, again, doesn't matter here at all, realistically. And if he KOs something next turn, again, we're kind of fine with that. We're going to take 2 prize cards here. Yeah, and there he goes. So that is a pretty good case scenario matchup against ADP there. I don't think I played perfectly. Benching that Drizzile probably wasn't the best decision in the world, but the math actually works out very well with Zacians. The 160 and the 60 equal the 220, so again, a very good matchup there. The snipe shot's a really good way of stalling against an ADP. So, you know, realistically, between those two games that we just saw, hopefully you guys get a good experience with Inteleon. You get a good idea of what the deck is all about. Personally, it's my favorite deck to play right now. You just have a lot of options. It's really consistent with the Drizzile and Inteleon tech. You know, being able to search your deck for trainer cards. The Frosmoth engine, more consistent with level ball. So again, just an absolutely phenomenal deck. One of my favorite decks to play right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Don't forget to click subscribe if you you know, want to be notified for future content. Don't forget to like the video. It supports me. It helps the algorithm a lot. And if you want to become a channel member, if you want to become one of those 30 people almost now that are supporting me and supporting my content in the community, click join down below. So big shout out to the channel members. You guys are the reason why we're able to do this pretty much every week. It means a whole lot to me. And yeah, don't forget to play on Chill Series number 26. It's coming this Wednesday. We have 200 Battle Styles packs in the prize pool, and it is 100% free entry. So, you know, link to register for that will be down below. So yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and you have a good day.